Hello everyone, today we're going to go over 4.2 degrees in radians. We're only going to actually go over example 1 today because I'm going to be talking about a couple of theoretical aspects and then just how to convert degree decimal form into DMS or degree minute second form. Now note, let's talk a little bit about angles. There are positive angles and negative angles. Now always we're going to use the x-axis as our like a reference point, and a standard angle has the initial side, which is always this line, the positive x-axis, so to speak, and the terminal side is where the angle makes up. Now note that to end here, I could have either began here and went this way, or I could have gone down and then up and ended here. They both end at the exact same terminal side. Again, this would be the initial side, this would be the terminal side. Now when you begin on the initial side and the angle moves up, that would be a positive angle, even if it ends up pointing downward. Again, in angles, the concept of positive and negative isn't where I'm pointing to, but how I am moving. So if I began and went this way, I went up from my initial side, it would be a positive angle, even if it ends up pointing downward. If I were to have gone down from my initial side, it would have been a negative angle. So again, the concept of positive and negative is not where I'm pointing to, but how I got to that terminal side. Again, let's go over a couple of examples. If I begin here and I end here and I go like this, that would still be a positive angle. I went upward and I'm pointing to the right. This would be a negative angle. I began in the initial side and my terminal side is going down. So again, anytime you turn counterclockwise, that's positive no matter where you end up. Anytime you turn clockwise, it would be negative, even if you end up pointing outward. Doesn't matter. Negative. And note that the angle could go around more than once, hence these spirals. We're going to get over that a little bit later in this chapter. So that gets rid of the first part, the angles and their measures. And now let's move on to example 1, converting DMS, which is degrees, minutes, and seconds, and decimal degree form. We're going to do both. We're going to go from one to the other, and that's all we're going to do today. Now, many of you, if you watch war movies and such, they say, yeah, we're 45 degrees north, so much, so on and so forth. So they use these DMS measurements in order to just perform geolocation or to just move around a lot in the sea and other places, airplanes, etc., etc. And right now we're just going to learn how to convert them. Now, decimal degree form looks something like this. We have a decimal part and we're dealing with degrees, so this would be decimal degree form. DMS looks something like this. And one thing to note, now, even though, this more or less represents the degree in the D, and then minutes and seconds. Note, you're never going to end up with more than 59 minutes or 59 seconds, because what you do is you just add that to what forms another degree or another minute. If you have 120 seconds, you would actually have 0 seconds and 2 minutes. So just keep in mind so you don't end up with some crazy numbers. So again, degree decimal form, degree minutes, seconds. You do need to know that nomenclature in order to answer your tests, SATs, etc., etc. Now let's begin with the conversion. First in A, I'm given degree decimal form 56.735 degrees, and I have to convert from degree decimal to DMS. All you have to do is a couple of very simple, straightforward steps. Number one, you grab the degree portion, 0.7, or the decimal portion, I apologize. And we're gonna turn this into minutes. That's it. That's step one. We're gonna turn this into minutes. How do we turn this into minutes? By multiplying it by the proper conversion rates. In 1 minute, well, let's go the opposite. In 60 minutes, there is 1 degree. Okay. In 60, this isn't 601, this is 60 minutes. There is 1 degree. So again, a degree can represent more or less like an hour. And in order to cancel units, they have to be in the denominator, so these units would cancel each other out. We'll go over that in actual class and intro to physics, a couple of other things. So all you have to do again, you multiply this by this conversion rate, which is 60 minutes every 1 degree. The degree units cancel out and you multiply. And what you actually end up with is the following: 44.1 minutes. So now I have the minutes part. All I'm missing is the seconds. So again, I grab this decimal portion again, 0.1 minutes, and you convert again. There are 60 seconds every 1 minute. This cancels this, the units cancel out. After you multiply, you're left with 6 seconds. And now you just put everything together. We don't actually touch the whole number portion, so the answer would be 56 degrees, 44 minutes, 6 seconds. So again, to recap, I grab the decimal portion. You always multiply it by this conversion rate. It's not going to change. 60 minutes per 1 degree. After you multiply, you're going to end up with something that looks like this. Minutes. You grab the decimal portion and you turn that decimal portion into seconds by this conversion rate, 60 seconds per 1 minute. Then you just put the exact same degrees, however many minutes you have, however many seconds you have. And we just converted from degree decimal to degree minutes seconds. Now we're going to do the opposite. We are going to be given DMS and we're going to turn into degree decimal. And it's pretty much the exact same thing, only backwards, and you flip the fractions. That's pretty much it. Well, let's go over an example. Here I have 32 degrees, 5 minutes, 28 seconds. And again, the first thing you're going to do is, just give me 1 second. Okay, now we're going to let's go over a couple of actual divisions. Let's go over, in 1 hour, there are 60 minutes, right? In 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. And in each minute, there are 60 seconds. So once you do the proper conversion, in 1 hour, there are 3,600 seconds. Or in 1 degree, there are 3,600 seconds. Also, we went over this. In 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. In 1 degree, there are 60 minutes. So all you have to do now is grab your basic DMS, degree, minutes, seconds, and you do the following. The hour stays the same. Now you add the minute portion and multiply it by, in 1 degree, there are 60 minutes. Let's go ahead and add more space here. And to this, you again add in your 28 seconds, and in 1 degree, there are 3,600 seconds. And again, here the degrees always go up top because you want to cancel out the minute unit with the minute unit and the second unit with the second unit. And you are only left with degree units, and you add everything up. So after you multiply this and add everything, well, let's say what it says in the book. This turns into 32 degrees plus 0.083 degrees plus 0.008 degrees. Add everything up and you're left with the actual answer, 32.091 degrees. Again, I went from decimal minute, from degree minute seconds to degree decimal form. And again, it's the opposite. Here, you're gonna leave the degree the same. We never touch the degree, just like in the last one. And you're gonna multiply the minute apart by this conversion rate, which has in 1 degree, there are 60 minutes. And also you're gonna multiply the second by this conversion rate, which is in 1 degree, there are 3,600 minutes. And if you have trouble remembering those numbers, just think of degrees as hours. In 1 hour, there are 60 minutes. In 1 hour, there are 3,600 seconds. Multiply everything, add, and that's your answer. That's it for today. See you guys later.